Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Bourbon Bytes. It's been a minute since I've done some Irish whiskey, so I thought, why not have one of the best influences on WhiskeyTube when it comes to Irish whiskey join me for this stream, this very special stream, because I am reviewing Gold Spot Irish whiskey. It's not quite hit the U.S. market yet, but I am so thankful for her for providing me a sample of it to try. If you are watching the replay, feel free to skip around down below. I'll put the time codes in the description so you can skip to that stream, because you are all just here for the Gold Spot. Let's be real. But those of you that are joining me live, I am so excited for today's guest. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. Y'all know her from WhiskeyTube, but please welcome one of, I guess, the newest official WhiskeyTubers, Stacie H. What's up, Stacie?
Hi, everybody.
So, Stacie, I think this is like, I guess, your big announcement about your channel.
This is the big announcement. Yeah, I've been working on it a while, and my husband said, just do it. Just go with it. So, welcome. 4-Leaf Whiskey.
I love it. You told me the name. I'm like, yes, that is so amazing. I'm surprised it wasn't taken already. That's so cool.
I was really too. I was really surprised it wasn't.
So I put her link down in the description. If any of the mods want to copy her link and share it in the chat, y'all make sure to subscribe. I know you have some really fun videos planned coming soon, I believe, on the channel.
This weekend, my husband's out of town, and I'm just going to do reviews, one right after another. So if anybody has something that would like me to review for them, as far as Irish, just reach out to me, 4-Leaf Whiskey on Instagram, or 4-Leaf 4 Whiskey, or 4-Leaf Whiskey 4 at Gmail. Because somehow that email address was taken.
Well, it kind of works though. The 4s on both sides still looks pretty.
Yeah, that's I make it a little easier.
Well, you sent me a really exciting flight. I'm so excited, not just for the Gold Spot, for all of these. I'm very unfamiliar with pretty much all of these. I've heard of some of them, but I'm really excited to, hopefully you're going to drop some knowledge on me as we taste through these.
Let me tell you, this flight, all of my Irish whiskey drinking friends are excited about this flight. This is something, if you're an Irish whiskey drinker and you're getting bottles from Ireland and trying to scout out and find stuff, this is the stuff that we were drinking. So I was really excited when you asked me for an obscure Irish flight.
Well, I love it because I know my experience with Irish is sort of, pretty much limited to everything that you can just get here in the US. So it sounds like pretty much all of this, at least at the moment, is not quite here yet, or some of them are in the works for coming to
One
the US.
of them actually just arrived in the past 6 months, and I actually have an announcement about one of the others that the distiller told me I could share on your channel tonight.
Okay, well, we'll wait till we get to that one. But you want to go ahead and get started with? Well, I actually don't know which one that one is, so you're gonna have to tell me. But we're gonna start with the Liberator. Is that right?
The Liberator Tawny Port. So this is from Wayward Irish Spirits, and it's near Killarney. The master distiller and the owner is Maurice O'Connell, just a wonderful gentleman. The O'Connell family were importers of wine and brandy from Spain and Portugal, and around, I think it was 1600s, when the tax came onto Irish whiskey, they moved to Derrynane to avoid the tax man, so they didn't want to pay taxes.
Okay.
So eventually their family got more prominent, and they kind of needed to be a little more on the up and up. So they moved to the Killarney area and created Lakeview Estates, where the estate is now. They're actually creating their own whiskey. They have their own barley that is being distilled at a different location and being made into their own whiskey. This one is named after their descendant, Daniel O'Connell, who was known as the Liberator in British Parliament. And the British Prime Minister at the time called him that wayward Irishman. So that's where Wayward Irish Spirits comes from. But this is actually the first vatted malt that has been in Ireland in quite a few decades, and it is made up of single malt from Cooley and Great Northern. That's what a vatted malt, two single malts from two different distilleries. And then I tell you, Maurice is really good for sourcing casks from Portugal and Spain. So this one, 3 weeks after the Tawny Port was emptied, this had whiskey in it.
Ooh, okay. Love that.
So that's where it gets those strong port notes, and this, you can almost see the pinkish hue.
Oh yeah.
That it's getting from the cask.
Yeah. Did we see the label on the bottle? I'm not sure if you showed that earlier, just so we can. There we go. So if you guys see that bottle, I like the look of it. It looks very it's very prominent.
It's very
That's awesome.
Yes. I love this one. I tell you, I make bread pudding with this every Christmas. I soak the raisins in it. It is awesome. I absolutely love it. It's 46%.
Mm-hmm.
And actually Morris gave me the okay to let everybody know they're planning a US release this fall. So New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New Orleans so far are on the list.
Awesome.
So if you're in one of those states, keep an eye out for this. It's really reasonably priced. It's really a lovely, lovely whiskey.
Yeah, I'm saying on the nose already. I can just tell that port is.
That port comes through on the nose.
Oh yeah. But
there is no mistaking it.
Quite a few in the chat that are in some of those states we talked about. I'll give some shout outs in a minute, but I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste. Cheers, Stacie, and thank you for coming on the channel. Wow, I think it tastes pretty different than it smells. I think on the nose you get like that. I mean, it has a little bit of the maltiness for sure, but I think the finish really does
comes through on the palate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I on the nose, the nose was so dominant from that port cask, but oh man, for only 46%, man, that thing has a really long finish. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh. You said bread pudding. I could see this being a very dessert forward whiskey.
I always did that one when it's snowing outside and I'm sitting up by the fireplace on a nice winter night. That's the one I reach for all the time. I've gone through the inaugural batch 2, and that's the last that I have a batch 2. So I'm going to have to move on to batch 3. But yeah, the nose, it smells really sweet, but the palate's actually balanced. It's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's sweet, but it's not overwhelming.
I think it gets sweeter on the finish. Actually, the more it sits on my tongue, the sweeter it gets. And I think that's from the Tawny port for sure. Do you want to give a couple shouts to people in the chat? I know I skipped over that earlier, but I see Donnie the Linux Cat is in the chat. Steven Sussman, good to see you. Wesley Zeller, one of our, well, actually everyone so far has been a patron, so thank you to all my patrons here today. Sugar Kitty is here. Sugar Kitty is a Bite Club member, which is my YouTube channel membership. If you want to support the channel and get access to some cool emojis in the chat and also just support the channel, you can join that right down there. Also hit subscribe while you're down there as well, and that thumbs up button if you are excited about Irish whiskey, because I'm super excited. Let's see who else is here. Juan is here. So Juan is in my local group. I shared it there because I know a lot of them have been considering buying the gold spot and having it shipped to them because they're impatient like me. So I wanted to share with them so they can hear my thoughts on it. I see Donnie is dropping your link there. Yeah, so you guys go definitely check out her channel. She's creating new content this weekend. So Emily Chambers says, "Woo, Stacie represent." Well, Stacie's not the only one representing, because my podcast that comes out tomorrow morning, I interviewed Emily Chambers for. So I had Emily come on. We drank some Russell's Reserve 10-year. We talked about just because July is Disabilities Pride Month, so we talked a little bit about that, and just really it was very praising of the Whiskey Tube community. So y'all make sure to check out tomorrow's podcast. Emily was a great guest. I still have to finish editing it, but we had some technical issues at the end. There was some delay, but I'm working on fixing it. Emily, so far it sounds great. So thank you for coming on. Oh, I see Lil in the chat as well. Cheers all. Yeah, for Stacie H. Good to see you, Lil. Zopher is here as well. And Alexander, good to see you. Nice crowd tonight. So I know a lot of people are curious. I think people are used to seeing, bottles they're familiar with in the thumbnail, and I feel like other than Gold Spot, I was not familiar with any of these. So I think this will be a fun one that hopefully people will catch the replay of and really find something that aligns with their palate. So I think we're off to a good start so far. I'm gonna leave a little bit of that because I'm gonna come back to that one because I always like coming back to the first one. But let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Now this one is also a. What makes this? Well, what was the reason we moved to this one next? Sorry.
So this is another. It's not a single malt, but it's a blended malt.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, this one is Killowen Pinot Noir cask.
Nice, 10-year.
So this is a 10-year that was finished in Pinot Noir Burgundy casks. This is from their experimental series that they had. Killowen is actually the smallest craft distillery in Ireland. It's located in the Mourne Mountains in County Down in Northern Ireland. Master distiller and owner is Brendan Carty. Super, super nice guy. Everything that Killowen does is non-chill filtered, no color, bottled at cask strength right out of the cask. So this is
I was gonna say it's the lightest color we have. It's the lightest color we have so far, being Pinot Noir cask finish. And I mean, maybe that's just like you said, a testament. There's no color added or anything. It's like straight up.
Yeah, this is exactly, and it was bottled at, this is the US release, bottled at 52.5%. This one actually was originally their experimental series, intended to be the first release, but they had to delay it to the 5th release so that some of the oak could get out of it. Just so it had time to settle down. And it's just, this honestly is my favorite Killowen. I absolutely.
I was going to say the nose on this it's like delicate, but it's also, you can tell there's like, it's bursting with flavor. So
it's got layers of flavor, in it.
I got to dive in already.
So this one is actually available in the US. In a few states, I know it was in Minnesota. I know for a fact you can still get bottles of this in Kentucky. I believe New York, I think it was in New Jersey.
Okay. So that one to me, oh, go ahead.
Oh, these are not being made anymore, the experimental series. Gotcha. So once you find these, grab onto them. I will tell you, it is a small batch distillery, so they're not inexpensive. These were, I think, $89 is a $375 bottle, but it is phenomenal stuff that they're doing at Killowen.
Yeah, to me, the first tasting note that I get on this is like a bit of like a honeysuckle. There's like a floral element to it that definitely different than the first one for sure. What do you typically get on this? Like, what makes it your favorite?
I get lemon blackberry cheesecake on this one.
Oh wow!
I get the honey. I get the vanilla and the nutmeg and a little tiny wood at the end. But yeah, I get like a lemon cheesecake with blackberries.
I do get I mean, you have way better tasting notes than I do. That's why it's great that you started a channel, because you can like give these amazing notes. I do definitely get the lemon though. There's absolutely some lemon on that. Yeah, and I said delicate to start with. I don't want that to come across as like simple. I think delicate can mean a lot of things, but to me, delicate is like brighter. Like I said, like a little bit of floral, a little bit of like you said, lemon. But man,
yeah, that's probably there's a single grain component in there, so that's probably what that is. That's from, but yeah. It's got this one has kind of like layers of flavor to it. To me.
Oh man, that's definitely up my alley. It's definitely different because my experience, like I said, with Irish whiskey is so limited to pretty much Middleton. Like I'm not gonna lie, like almost everything I've had has been from there. So having a chance to try some of these smaller distilleries, I mean, it's definitely a different flavor profile. I mean, the only other small one that I've probably had from Ireland would be like not Woodford. What is it? I forget. There's like their blue bottle. Is it not Woodford? I keep saying Woodford. Waterford.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Like some of those behind me here on the shelf.
Yeah.
So this Killowen actually has gotten. It's funny. My first bottle of Killowen, which was a Pinot Noir, actually had Sharpie on the back of the label.
Oh, really?
They are big on transparency, and they try to give all the information they can. And they got their hand slapped for the Irish. And they had to go in with a Sharpie and mark out some of it.
Oh, really?
They said it would be confusing to the consumer.
Yeah. Nah, we love the experimental stuff too. I think that's and that kind of, like you said, it is pricey, but they're a small distillery and it's an experimental release. I think it's justified in that alone.
They are very popular. They have a group that I'm a member of, the Killowen cult, and they sell out releases nonstop. So if you get it, it's a good bottle to have.
I'm seeing a few other people that are just tuning in to say, did Stacie start a channel? Indeed, she did. The link is down in the description below.
I finally did, hanging easy.
Yeah, I saw someone else ask earlier too. So yeah, you guys, and her link is down in the description. She has plans for videos coming soon. There's nothing on the channel yet, but hit subscribe and you'll be notified when she puts some videos up. So Emily says it's Ladies Week here on Bourbon Bytes. Apparently, hey, nothing wrong with that. Awesome. Well, we have another Killowen release coming up later in the stream, but we're gonna save that for the end because that's a beast within itself.
That's a beast, and you were such a good sport for letting me sneak that in. You said 5, and I'm like,
I'm excited. I just don't want to blow my palate for the rest of the stream, so we're gonna.
Oh, that'll do it. That'll definitely do it.
All right, so you ready to move on to the next one? I feel like we're rushing through this. I'm not trying to. I'm just so excited.
Oh no, you're totally fine.
Yeah, and if you guys have any questions throughout,
what's that?
I was gonna say if they have any questions throughout about Irish whiskey in general or about any of these releases, she's your gal. Ask anything in the chat. We'll talk about it.
If I don't have an answer, I'll find somebody that does.
Yeah. All right. So the next one. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine. So we'll move on to the Bushmills single malt.
Okay.
So this is a Bushmills Causeway 13-year-old finished in Douro casks. And this one was done for the Australian market.
Okay. Oh, I know Lil said she had to watch the replay, so I think we just Lil, when you watch the replay, you got to check this one.
Yeah, I've mentioned this one to Lil a couple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this one is 13-year-old Bushmills single malt, finished 5 years in the Douro casks. And
wow.
So this is like a vintage 2008 whiskey.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 56.6%. I was fortunate that I have an acquaintance in Ireland that was able to get some of them. So that's how I ended up with a bottle of it. Because I don't know how I would get one otherwise.
I was going to say, like, I don't have, I mean, I'm sure I probably have tried some form of Bushmills. I know most of the stuff they put out in the US market is pretty like the lower end stuff, but never nothing of this proof. I mean,
this one, so the Causeway is a series that Bushmill has. And there are several different Causeways. I have another one behind me that is a 2011, I think, Sauternes cask.
Okay.
So they've released several. My favorite's been they did 1995 Malaga that was just flipping outrageous. It was so good. It's one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. And they do these special releases that are called the Causeway. They're bottled more to cask strength. Unfortunately, the U.S. has not seen any of them.
Of course.
Yeah, the closest we have, Canada got a cognac finish. And I've heard that one is really good. And I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that. So next time I know somebody that's going north of the border, I might have them looking for that one.
Donald Rance probably has it.
Yeah, I think he does. And he's got a couple of the Causeways. And he's got another, I think he's got the port, it's like 28 or 30 year port finish as well. So yeah, most of them were in Ireland or for other markets. There was one for Sweden, and yeah.
Gotcha. Interesting. So this one you said Douro cask. I don't know what that is. Can you tell me what that is?
Douro is a port.
Oh, it's a port. Okay.
It's a port.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if it was like a type of wood or something, but
I'm almost positive it's a port.
I mean, you could tell, and the color wise, this is dark. Like, I mean, there's definitely some kind of wine influence. I imagine on that.
Yeah, this is a dark.
Oh,
granted, this was again 5 years in the cask. That's a long time.
Right. I mean, like especially
really long time.
Even in the U.S. market, I don't think most people don't finish more than 11 months. I think I've seen some things that are like 18 months that are like extreme, but most finishes are definitely shorter than 2 years, but 5 years.
Yeah,
wow.
I was surprised when I read that, and I mean it comes through on the flavor. This one is, I'd heard about the Douro being good, and so I kind of, when that opportunity presented itself to get the Australian one, I was like, yeah, I'll pay probably more than I should and get it. That happens fairly often.
Oh yeah. Well, I know that you're getting more into like American whiskey and bourbon. I think you were on someone's stream. I think it was a month ago or so, trying a bunch of different American whiskeys. So I'm gonna have to do a part 2 with you and send you some American stuff to try.
I am honestly, everybody on WhiskeyTube and everybody in chat has been so helpful because I knew nothing about bourbon when I started. I really didn't. And now at least I could feel like I could hold a conversation.
Right. So Donnie coming in with the info, he says Douro Cask is a Portuguese wine region centered on the Douro River in the Trás-os-Montes. That's a lot of not words that I can pronounce. But
that's way more than my info support.
Hey, thank you. That's the power of Google. Or Donnie just may have this knowledge. I don't know. Probably Google. So question about this. So it has a 13-year age statement. I assume that's including the 5 year of the finish, right? Yes. It's not like 13 plus 5. Okay, gotcha. No, that'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I have not tried. I'm going to give it a nose. Oh wow. Again, this one I feel like it's very forward with that finish on it, on the nose.
Yeah, all that time in those casks, there's no way you're going to miss that on the nose. It comes through.
I'm like almost getting like, for some reason it reminds me of red velvet cake. Now you got me on the dessert kick earlier, but to me,
exactly the nose.
I don't know if it's like the cream cheese of the red velvet cake, but man, on the nose, like to me, it's definitely sweet.
That is exactly what I get. I get dark red fruits like cherries. I get like a dark chocolate on this. I get plum. I get, a little like spice, but not much on the nose at all. Not even that much on the palate, just a little bit of the finish on the palate. But
All right, I'm gonna try it. Cheers.
That's funny. Like the red velvet cake, that's exactly what I get on that, or like a black forest cake almost.
Mm-hmm. You know what's interesting is like my experience with Australian whiskey. I know this isn't Australian whiskey, but it's for the Australian market. Is Starward, and they have a lot of red wine cask. This actually kind of tastes like some of the Starward stuff I've had, which is interesting.
That is interesting.
I wonder if
that's intentional, but
well, that's what I'm wondering is like, if they know that that's like their palate for, because I know red wine is such a big thing in Australia, just in general, like their wine market is crazy. So I'm wondering if maybe they specifically targeted this towards that market because they know they love those big, bright, fruity flavors.
I think that's just a guess. They could have opened the cask and that could have been the direction it went. It's got some big notes on it.
Oh man, that's really interesting. It still reminds me of a dessert. I think this one to me is like, it's the most, I said the other one was like sweet on the finish, but this one to me is sweet all around. And I like that.
Yeah.
Emily says Douro is a really nice wine to sip. Nice. I've not had the chance to try it.
I have not had the opportunity either.
Sugar Kitty says a black forest cake means the coconut to go along with that cherry. Red velvet doesn't have that.
Actually, that's a German chocolate cake. A black forest cake has the espresso, has a little bit of the coffee in it. At least I think
now I'm really hungry.
The one I made didn't have coconut in it.
Oh man, I could just sit nosing this all night. I mean, I think.
But yeah, those are exactly the notes I get. I get the dark fruits like the cherry and the chocolate, and it just has I get a little tiny bit of like a black pepper at the finish, but not much, just a hint.
Yeah, when I say like sweet all around, I don't mean like it's like sugary sweet. I think it has a depth to it that I think is potentially from the finish. It could just be the base whiskey itself, but it has like a richness and a really thick mouthfeel. That's what makes me think it's desserty. I like that a lot. You're impressing me a lot so far. So I don't want to move on. I want to come back to it, but we have 3 more to try here tonight. So let me go ahead and finish that. But so far I think that's my favorite so far. But we got 3 more to try. So
and that is the oldest of the 3.
So here's the question, I guess. For like I said, most of my experience with Irish is like Middleton, but like in terms of outside of that, like are these older releases that common? Because I feel like a lot of these craft distilleries are somewhat recent. Having a 13-year-old release seems pretty rare, right?
Well, this is Bushmills.
Oh, this is Bushmills. Sorry, my bad. You're right.
But yeah, you're right. As far as the Killowen, actually just celebrated their 3-year anniversary, so they have not been around for a long time. Lot of that one.
Are they? Yeah, they're using someone else's. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, they're all sourcing their whiskey. Where Killowen and others are located, especially Killowen, they're not that far from Great Northern Distillery. So a lot of places do source. There's Great Northern and I know that Clare Island gets their whiskey from Connacht, and there's Cooley's still there, and I think they're still selling some casks. But so there are still places that they can source from, and then they finish and kind of they're working on making their own. It's just they haven't been around. It has exploded. I believe there are 45 distilleries now in Ireland. And 2018, or was it 2016? I think there were like 8 or 10. I mean, it's just over the last 3 years, it has exploded.
Well, and that's exciting for the future of it. I mean, I think we're about to have a boom of like so many different flavors and varieties of Irish whiskey coming out that hopefully they make it over here, because I think I would love to see more Irish. I have such experience with bourbon, American whiskey, and even Scotch. There's so much availability of it, but Irish is just, to me, it feels more limited. So I'm really looking forward to having more options, I guess.
And it is hard. It is getting whiskey over here is not cheap. It's expensive. Trying to navigate, 50 different sets of state laws and regulations is not easy either. So we're getting more and more brands coming over, but we're also getting the availability to order brands from overseas a lot easier. Yeah. It's not as expensive as you would think.
Well, I know Mitchell & Son, which is the brand behind Gold Spot, I know they put up some more stock of it online. I know my local group, who Juan was in here earlier, we were all chatting about like, should we order it? Should we? And I was like, y'all got to watch my stream tonight to find out what I think about it before you order it. Then you can.
I can tell you, if you order 1 bottle of Gold Spot, personal experience from Mitchell & Son, it's going to cost you €80 to ship it.
But is it if you order 4 bottles, it's cheaper, or like 100?
Yeah, it's the same price if you order 2 or 1. It's a
Gotcha.
limit of 2 on the gold spot.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's your hint.
And they know they gotcha. They know you want it. They're the only place you're going to get it right now. So they know they've gotcha. I just ordered a different bottle that was delivered a couple of days ago from Ireland, and it was €40. It's typically around that for shipping. It's not horrible.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't have any personal experience from doing that. I just know a lot of my friends do it, especially with a lot of Scotch. They order from overseas. So I know it's once I learn the process, it's very simple. But I'm just like terrified of like I don't know like taxes or not taxes, whatever you call it, the import duties. And
we
stuff.
don't pay that.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Nope. No, you don't have to pay the VAT if it's coming to the U.S.
Okay. I just need to do a little bit of research, I think. Also, no, I don't, because that means I would be spending more money. So maybe not. No, I'm not going to look into it.
My husband probably prefers I do less research on it because it's come to our house often.
Oh, yeah.
The worst actually was just recently. I ordered a bottle of 2 Stacks Irish whiskey that was sold in Amsterdam for the Dutch market. Got it to Ireland so I can get it here to the U.S.
Oh, wow. Oof, that sounds expensive.
Yeah, it was not cheap, but...
everyone's talking desserts in the chat. Donnie says red velvet must have cream cheese or it's not done right.
I agree.
But I like the nose on that one. I was getting the cream cheese too. It wasn't just the chocolate. I think there's like a hint of that, like I guess tart. I guess tart isn't the right word to describe like cream cheese, but there's like a certain note. Oh man, I gotta go back to the nose.
It's like on the Killowen Pinot Noir, like the cheesecake. It's something creamy, and you can definitely taste like cream cheese frosting or the cheesecake.
Yeah, that one's definitely.
It's like you can't describe it, but you know it when you taste it.
Exactly. And that's definitely like an after dinner kind of pour for me, and I like that. So, you ready to move to the next one, the Method and Madness? Now, this is a brand that I've heard of on the Whiskey Vault. I know that is, as far as I remember correctly, it's like Jameson's experimental division. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, it is an experimental distillery within a distillery.
Right.
So, we're switching over to single pot still. Okay.
Now, for those of us that are mostly American, can you explain, just simplified, like the difference between the two?
The column still is used a lot in Scotch, and it's just your straight regular still. The copper pot still that they use at Method Madness it looks like a mushroom. It's or like an upside down turnip. It's a big copper base, and it narrows at the top, and that creates a lot of the spicy notes that you're going to get in the single pot stills.
Gotcha.
And it's really difficult to get that on a column.
Okay, I was going to say for most Irish whiskey, is it typically column or pot still for like the majority of Irish whiskey?
Probably the majority are probably column, especially like you're blended, it's all in a column. And single malt. Ireland is like the home of the single pot still, and at one point they almost put themselves out of business in whiskey in general because they were absolutely refused to do anything but pot still. That was it. Pot still was it. And so they have kept that, and they are. That's why though that some of the best producers. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat a redbreast that's been around since the 1700s. They obviously know what they're doing at this point. So. This one is owned by the same company that owns Redbreast, which is Irish Distillers, who is owned by Pinot Ricard. This one is only an Irish exclusive. So this one is finished in Hungarian white mulberry casks.
Oh, interesting.
So
I was going to say, like, what notes would you expect to get from that? Because I have no experience with mulberry casks.
I actually get one note on this that I don't get on any other, and I actually want to see if you.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of it is. I will tell you, it is a spice.
A spice. I don't cook very often, so my experience with specific spices are limited. Okay.
So this one, they harvested the wood, they let it dry for 2 years, then they sent it to a cooperage. I would encourage everybody look up the Method Madness mulberry casks. Just Google that. The casks that they created for this, because mulberry is a very different wood to work with. They were only 50 liters. They had to be custom made. And, you expect your normal cask, which is a little narrower at both ends. This is fatter at both ends. It was a really wonky looking cask.
On the nose, I'm getting a kind of like a licorice, kind of maybe anise note. Is that the spice we're talking, or no? No, not that. Okay. Am I on the right track?
Yeah.
Okay.
This only spent 3 to 8 months in the mulberry casks.
Oh, okay. It's really nice on the nose, though. It's very different, again, from everything. Everything
It's
we tried
very
tonight has
different.
been so different from each other, which is really
Even
cool.
the other Method Madness that I have on my shelf, this one stands out. This one is different.
Well, on the nose, I can't name. I do think it's very fragrant. This one is like has one of the most intense noses of all these. And it's even not even the highest proof. I mean, we're talking 46%.
Yeah.
To me, though, it's jumping out of the glass. Okay, tell me what spice you get on this.
So this is the only Irish whiskey I've ever gotten paprika.
Paprika. Oh, okay.
And I got a little on the nose, and I get it on the finish. I get paprika. And I thought I was losing my mind. And I started reading other reviews, and they're getting paprika. I'm like, thank goodness, because I thought I'm like.
So to me, okay. So when I hear paprika, I think back to one of the most traumatic one of the most traumatic bottles I ever reviewed on the channel, Arby's Curly Fry vodka. So I don't know if you saw that video, but Arby's made some curly fry flavored vodka.
I heard about that. Yeah.
But the spices in that were paprika, and like 3 other spices. But that's when you said paprika, I'm like, oh no, please don't smell like Arby's vodka.
No.
It doesn't smell like Arby's vodka.
On the finish.
Yeah.
And you're getting it like with the wood and it's just at the finish.
I do. You know, I can't really tell you if I know exactly what paprika smells like on its own, because I've only had it with other things. So I can't say that, but I do think on the nose, this is very fragrant. It's very spice forward. I got anise on it a bit, but like,
I think like pulled pork and stuff, but like that's been had a rub put on it, but before it gets barbecue sauce, because it almost always has paprika on it. And you can
okay.
so get it like a smoky.
It smells great. I can't wait to try it. You know, now that I taste it, I get it more, the paprika aspect for sure. To me, it's almost like it almost comes across as savory in like a unique way that I feel like I've not gotten on Irish for sure.
It's very unique. And I mean, I wanted this one because I do have white mulberry trees in my backyard. So I'm like, hey, let's build a cask. So,
right?
Yeah, I ordered this one. Method Madness actually is in the US. And
that's what I say. I've seen some of them. I haven't picked up one. Yeah.
So the single grain and virgin Spanish oak is here. The single pot still that's in French chestnuts, and the single malt that's in French limousine oak casks. You can get all 3 of those there. I am a big fan of the single pot still in the French chestnut. I have that one behind me. That one I get Twizzlers on every time. But yeah, this one was so outside the box of anything.
But I still like it. I will say it has less of that richness, the body that I was getting with some of these other ones. I think maybe it's just because it doesn't have that wine cask element to it. But I do think that it's like packed with flavor. And for again, back to the concept, 46%. That's just an Irish whiskey thing. Maybe it can be so low proof, but still be, you know, super bold and rich and flavorful. I mean, I know there's some other whiskeys like that too, but I'm getting the idea that maybe Irish, that happens more often than not.
Yeah, once you get away from, you know, the normal stuff you get on your shelf, you'd be surprised. I think people are surprised at how much is out there. And that's why I love like trying to share all of this, because like there's a whole world of it out there that I've just, you know, learned about in the last few years. So it's stuff like this, and I love the experimental stuff they're doing. They actually just did 3 in Japanese wood that I'm still waiting to see if I can get. I cannot afford the 33-year-old.
Oh my gosh, 33-year-old.
Mizunara, that one was it also sold out like fast as you can blink. But there's a couple other.
Was it just like a forgotten cask somewhere that like?
I have a feeling they planned it all. And there's a lot of forgotten casks at Irish Distillers. I mean, that place is massive, and the amount of casks they have there. I would love to just get a sleeping bag and roll it out one of this overnight at Irish Distillers.
Yeah, I would love to visit.
I know I would wake up drunk from the fumes, but I would not do it.
I would love to. I think I would like to go to Ireland at some point in the next 3 years.
It is an absolutely beautiful country.
Yeah, I've never been. I've flown over it, and I'm like, I got to go there one day, and haven't made it yet. But I know Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbon. You know what? They might be going to Scotland. Or I can't remember. I'm not going. It's a very expensive trip, but they're planning a group trip next year. So for those of you that are going,
to get back to Ireland next year, hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do it next year, but hopefully in the next 3 years I'll do it. Emily's saying paprika is the stuff on deviled eggs. Oh, I know, but like when I think of that, I just think of deviled eggs. I'm like, this does not taste like deviled eggs. That's actually the first thing.
If I was going to like a backyard barbecue, grab this one. It would go great with barbecue.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, Emily, like, that was my first thought, but I'm like, but what does the paprika taste like? So again, I'm not a chef. I don't have much experience other than like on deviled eggs. But wow, that's that one's, I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it's definitely the most interesting so far.
It is. It is. It's really unique, and that is something that Method Madness I seem to get on all of them. Is the notes that they're producing on their whiskeys are really different. The other one I have the wild cherry wood. That one, I swear, I describe it as like walking through an apple orchard in the fall. Like you're getting apples and the tree and grass and the straw, and I mean it's and wood. That's what it tastes like. It's crazy.
So that one, is it cherry wood that they're using for
wild cherry wood?
Okay. I haven't had much
super
experience.
Super sweet. That one is super sweet.
Well, so Method Madness, the ones that I've seen here, the ones that are available in the US, usually are pretty relatively affordably priced for being an experimental one. Is that the case overseas as well, or is that just some of the ones here?
Yeah, they all range. Even like the Mulberry range in the 75 to I think 90. Yeah, I think that's the pot stills anyway. I think I think it's a single grain that might be a little less than that, but their pot stills are all right in about that range. So it's not, I mean, for the small size of the distillery and the small batches, it's not that bad.
And the really cool bottle. I love the look of their bottles. They definitely stand out.
Really, really cool. It is a very, very cool bottle design.
Also it would be a great like decanter after you finish it as well, like an infinity bottle.
Yeah. And it's got a honkin'
wow, yeah.
cork on it.
Is it a glass cork? Or, no, it's just a regular cork. But
it's just a plastic top, but it is a wide cork.
Yeah. That's I gotta grab. I know I saw a few of them go up here. I don't know which ones are available in my area, but I'm gonna have to give them a second look because I really liked how unique this was, and I think maybe that's something that I can get for from the whole line.
Yeah. Anybody that is looking for these whiskeys, email me, and I'm happy to help you try to find them. Almost all of these can still be found. Nice. I know a couple retailers that still have stock of some of them. I know. If you're really dying to find one, the whiskey auctions like still have them pop up all the time.
Yeah. So and she'll tell you the reputable places to get it too, so you don't get scammed.
The places that I've bought from that'll take care of you.
Yeah. So definitely check her on her channel, message her on her channel. I don't think you can do that, but message her on Instagram.
Yeah. Message me on Instagram. Email me. I'll put my email in the channel and in the Instagram. I'm happy to help people find whiskey.
By the way, if you guys, so she just changed her Instagram name as well. Yeah. So if you're not yet following her, just look up 4-Leaf Whiskey on Instagram. You'll see her. You may already be following her from her previous name, but definitely give her a follow. I found I realized I wasn't following you two. I was like, we've been messaging for like weeks, and I have not. I was like, oh my god, I'm not following her. What the heck? So you guys go follow Stacie.
I threw another whiskey tuber off yesterday because I was jumped in and they're like, who? Oh, that is. Yeah.
Well, hopefully after tonight, at least people will start knowing it's you. So. Yeah. I know some people when they've done the change. I know Whiskey Mountains when Adriana started doing her channel. I was like, you might want to say like, "Hi, it's Adriana" when you join a chat, just so people know who you are. So maybe do that.
That is good advice. That is good advice.
Awesome. Well, I think it's time to move on to the one that I'm sure a lot of people are very, very excited for, including myself. So if you are skipping ahead in the stream, hi, welcome to my Gold Spot review. So show us this beautiful bottle. So you are one of the first people. I mean, you are the first person that I know that has gotten their hands on it.
Yeah, I ordered from the. I didn't even get the first order. I got this the second time that Mitchell & Son released it. So this was to celebrate the 135th anniversary of Mitchell & Son, the company. It was released at Whiskey Live in Dublin. It was a really cool release. They actually brought in a bunch of press and influencers, took them down underground into their old cellars, and kind of launched it there and let everybody do a tasting there of it. This one is a 9-year-old. It's a minimum of 9 years old. It's finished in bourbon barrels, sherry butts, port pipes, and Bordeaux wine casks.
Wow.
And the wine cask whiskey has been aged up to 16 years. So the 9 is the minimum. It goes up to 16.
Wow. So the proof on this is 51.4, correct?
That is correct.
And price-wise, at least like, I guess what it retails for. Do you know?
It's going to retail, and this is just your MSRP. So of course you're gonna run in. If you're not in a control state, they're gonna jack the price up of this right out of you. This one is like 120, 125.
Okay.
So it's right in the range that Blue Spot was.
I was going to say compared to Blue Spot, because I was fortunate enough to get a bottle of Blue Spot. I've already drank it all. I wish I would have saved some to do a little comparison. Now, Blue Spot was a 7-year-old release, correct?
It was a 9.
Oh, it was 9 as well? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm misremembering.
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. It was a 7. I'm sorry. You're right.
And that one definitely didn't have all the... That didn't have all the crazy different casks and stuff involved. It was more of just like a more traditional...
Oh, no. It had... Was it... I always forget if it's Malaga or Marsala.
Okay.
I get it and the 9 confused.
I gotcha.
One was one and one was the other.
Yeah, you don't have the guy. But I'm trying to remember. I loved Blue Spot though, so that's why I'm really excited for this one.
I'll take my glasses off for this one. No, it's Marsala, I think.
Marsala, okay.
I think. No, Madeira. That's the other emblem.
Okay.
Madeira.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, you're right.
That I always get it in yellow confused because I'm like, one was one and one was the other.
Yeah, I've wished I would have saved some because especially if I were to do a full like spot lineup, that would be so much fun to do. But I had it recently enough to remember how it tasted. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a comparison just based on my memory with this one. Because I know a lot of my friends are curious, like, hey, how does it compare to Blue Spot? So I don't have it side by side. I mean, you have more experience with both of them, so you'll maybe be able to help
people who like Blue Spot will like it. I get some of the same nose, and some of the same tasting notes. There's a lot more going on, obviously. It is less proof. So there's been mixed reviews on it. I think part of the problem, honestly, is when something is hyped up this badly.
Right. Which isn't really their fault. Oh, I mean, to be fair, maybe it is because they took people down to the cellar.
It's kind of their fault.
On the nose, to me, it's almost like a when I say cereal, I mean like an American cereal, like almost like, do I want to say Fruity Pebbles? I don't know. There's like some kind of like very sweet, sugary sweet kind of nose on it.
Yeah, I do get a lot of the fruity notes on the nose. And I think that's where it reminds me of Blue Spot. I get like the pineapple that I get on the Blue Spot nose as well.
Yeah, I could definitely see the pineapple. Like I said, like really bright, like not quite. To me, it's not quite like real fruit, but more like sugar coated fruit.
Yeah, I get more like dried fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do get the sugary notes on there as well.
All right, well, I'm gonna go in for a sip. Cheers. It kind of does like a little like switch up mid palate. I feel like it goes like more into the traditional like Irish kind of like shortbread cookie kind of note, but it's kind of surrounded by all these other flavors that are also going towards it. Like, what do you get on the palate?
I do get those traditional notes. I get that honey, I get that vanilla, that like nutmeg. But then I get almost like a clove or like a white pepper at the finish. I get like a hint, the tiniest hint of wood.
Yeah. I don't get much of the oak or anything like that. To me, it's got so much other flavors going on. There. You said white pepper. I trying to place. I also am getting something very different on it, and I'm wondering if that's what you're seeing as white pepper. I don't know if I would have much experience with that, but there is something that has a really, I almost want to say like Himalayan salt. That's kind of like a weird note, but like a pink salt.
Yeah, like a pink sea salt. Yeah. I could see that. I mean, I think I have batch 1 of Blue Spot. My bottle also came from Mitchell and Son in Ireland. And I get black pepper, like in your face black pepper on the finish of that. This is not that. I don't get that strong black pepper. I get like a lighter pepper on this one, but it is a little peppery on the finish.
Now, and you mentioned
drink hot. I mean, you could. It does not drink hot at 51.
Yeah, and you mentioned pineapple earlier. To me, I'm getting that now on the palate. I'm also getting like kind of like a peach ring kind of like candy kind of note as well.
Yeah, I get peach on this.
That's really nice. I mean, I said before I loved Blue Spot, but I also really enjoyed this. Now, could I tell you which one I think is better? I don't know because I already finished my Blue Spot. What about you? What are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's better than Blue Spot? I
do, but I'm not a fan of Blue Spot. I'm
okay.
One of the rare few. I actually prefer the red over the Blue Spot, and it's just The notes in the red, I kind of are more to me. I like the Malaga. I like the red wine finishes. It's really good, and the black pepper kind of poops it. I've heard that the batch 2 is better. I do need to try the batch 2. I do like this better. It's been getting. I think that's the problem, is everybody's comparing it to Blue Spot, and it's so hyped up that people are just expecting a lot, and it is a really good whiskey.
Oh, it's it's great. I like it. I mean, for like you said, retail price, I think that's a fair price for it.
I think it is. I do think it is. Do I think it's worth what I paid for it? No.
But you got to be one of the first people to have it, and you get to share it with people.
I could not wait the 2 months before it hits my plate.
Soper says, white pepper, we need to have cooking with Clifton on the Hangouts to get him familiar with spices. I know. I need to be more familiar, but that would be fun. Man, I really enjoy that. I think, again, it's hard to compare because I just don't have Blue Spot in front of me. And why? But to be fair, do we have to compare? Right? They're obviously not just trying to be the same whiskey. They're trying to be something different with this one. And I think that it's very unique in that itself. And my experience with the spots, it wasn't until Blue Spot that I really was like, oh, I kind of like this line. Because I think I had only had Green Spot before, and I think I had Yellow Spot once. So I was like, it's fine. I have not had a chance. I don't think I probably had Red Spot from a friend, but not on the channel or anything. And you said that was your Red Spot's your favorite?
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah. So Green Spot, I had my husband and I were in Ireland in 2014, and we're at a pub in Galway, and they introduced us to Green Spot, and it kind of took off from there. And the Leoval Barton is the one that really got me down the spot wagon, on the spot train. That one is just phenomenal whiskey, and that is a Bordeaux finish. And so after that, I got the red, and I've had the yellow. I don't have a bottle of yellow. That one's another one. I go back and forth whether I like it, I don't like it. So I don't have a bottle of that one, but I have all the others. And I like blue, but this gold one is really nice. It's a nice addition. I do think it's worth the price because it's a one and done. You're not going to see this again.
Right. Yeah.
It is coming to all U.S. states, as far as I know. It's coming. How many? I think they said 3,000 cases.
Nice.
Made. Yeah, so 3,000.
More or less than Blue Spot, because Blue Spot was near impossible. It popped up. I bought a bottle when it popped up. Never saw it again.
It goes fast. It sells fast. Blue Spot, and I know Gold Spot will as well. It appeals to more than just Irish whiskey drinkers. I mean, it's appealing to Scotch drinkers. It's appealing to bourbon drinkers,
and the collectors that are like, oh,
and the collectors, unfortunately. So, yeah. You can always. Blue Spot, don't overpay for Blue Spot. Blue Spot's not going anywhere. Blue Spot's going to keep being made. This one will not be made again.
Gotcha. So like I said, I bought Blue Spot at retail. I would buy another one. I think it's very different. I know when I was trying to get into Irish whiskey, it was more of like a competition. Like, do you like the spots or do you like the red breast? And I fell into the red breast category because I really like those like heavy sherry kind of influences on it. So I kind of didn't explore the spots until now when they're coming out with these really cool releases. So I would absolutely, like you said, I would pay retail for this, happily grab a bottle. I may not grab multiples of this one because it's, it's pretty pricey, but I think I look forward to having a bottle in my collection whenever it hits here in the US.
It's supposed to be coming very, very soon. I know here in Ohio, they're estimating mid-August.
Okay.
And things sometimes I think they usually come into port in New Jersey and kind of make their way west. So
gotcha.
It'll come. It'll
just be patient. And if you're not patient, check out their website. They were there today.
You go on Mitchell and Son right now. They're in stock right now on Mitchell and Son. I believe they do deliver to all U.S. states. It's gonna cost you about €80 shipping for one bottle or two bottles.
So get the maximum. You gotta make it worth it. So get two bottles. You're allowed that, and then I don't know if I'm correct or not, but I think if you get two other bottles, it's like the shipping tops out at 100. I don't know if that's a fact or not. Okay.
Yeah, you can get two additional. You just can't get two additional.
Just
two bottles.
Two max of the Gold Spot. So
I don't know if they have any Blue Spot on a plate at Mitchell and Son, but get a yellow and a red.
Do a flight. And if you want to do the flight with me, whoever buys it, send me samples and we'll do it. I'll invite you on the stream. We'll do it. Awesome. Well, I think it's time we move on to the one that I'm intimidated by, but excited about. So Tell us about this last pour. You were like, "Are you sure you're ready for this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm ready." So what?
I had to make sure that you were a peated drinker first.
Oh, I am. Heck yes.
Because this is 100% peated.
Okay, I'm down.
So this is an Irish poitín. Technically, it predates poitín. It's called the Bulcán. This is from Killowen, and it is called the Bulcán Dead and Buried.
Oof, that name.
There is a reason for that. So
I was like, okay.
This is a collaboration between the owner of Killowen, Brendan Carty, and the infamous Irish whiskey author and historian Finan O'Connor, who wrote The Glass Apart about single pot still whiskey.
Okay.
And the name for Bulcán in Irish is blow to the head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does that relate to the proof?
Yeah. Before poitín, Bulcán was the drink traditionally consumed in Ireland, and it was traditionally consumed at wakes and funerals.
Oh, okay.
So this is a mash bill of 50% peated oats, 50% peated malted barley. It is rested in Pinot Noir cask for 10 weeks. Irish poitín does have a technical file, and it cannot be rested in any kind of cask for longer than 10 weeks.
Okay. I was gonna say it's definitely very light. There's like a hint of color on it, but it's like,
yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of color on poitín. This is actually one of the darkest. I think this one and the other one that they did, Stone Soup, are the two.
So for
this is modeled at 67.5%.
Oh man, I'm excited. Well, so for those of people that are new to poitín, I've had it once on the channel before. I had the Glendalough one that was there, but I think that was lower proof. It wasn't crazy high proof. So tell us about what that is. Like, I mean, I always hear it equated to like the moonshine of Ireland, but is there more to it than that?
It predates moonshine and even whiskey distillation. When you're talking about like the historic mash bills, I mean, this was the distilled spirit of Ireland before they started. The English came in and taxed everything and started. That's when it actually started getting organized, and we were making casks and aging whiskeys. At that point, the poitín was still in the mountains and in Ashowan and hiding from the tax man. And it's funny, at that point, they were not able to keep up with production, and so they were making a little too wide of cuts. So it's actually the legal stuff that would kill you in Ireland at the time. It was the illegal poitín that was the safe stuff to drink.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And so Killowen actually is called 2022 the year of the poitín. And they've produced a couple of their poitíns this year and again, they sell out within, if it sells out, if it's still there a half hour, that's pretty good.
Wow.
This one I actually ordered. We crashed once the Irish site where we were ordering it from when Stone Soup was released, which is their other poitín. This one I actually ordered from a UK site that we found out got some. This one, I absolutely love it. And I've noticed the more water you add, the more that peat comes through.
I was going to say in the nose, I'm not getting too much peat.
You won't that much. So sip. I'm going to have you smell it, sip it, and then add a drop or two of water, and then do it again, because it's funny. It's 100% peated,
right?
Still, but it doesn't come through as peated.
The nose to me, it's like buttered popcorn, like. To me, that's the note that I'm getting, is like a buttery, like maybe not popcorn, but just butter. It smells like butter.
Yeah, it does.
Really good though.
Like butter, like sweet condensed milk.
Okay, I can see that too. Yeah, it definitely has like a creaminess to it, just on the nose.
I usually get great nerds too on a lot of poitín.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I mean, there's some herbal notes there. There is a hint of smoke, but almost like, like a burnt marshmallow.
Yep. All right, I'm going to try it. Cheers. I'm scared. Sure.
So the one thing I love about, especially the Killowen poitíns, the mouthfeel is so creamy.
Wow. For being my only second poitín that I've ever had, this definitely takes the cake. This is definitely the winner compared to the one that I had before.
And this one does not drink like it is 67.5%.
No, I was going to say it drinks high proof. Don't get me wrong. It drinks high proof, but it has that creaminess that I think tones down that a bit.
Yeah.
again, the peat. You said I need to add some more water to bring out the peat because I was going to say
add a little water and watch how
the
that
peat isn't what's jumping out at me. That's
in.
crazy.
Yeah, you'll get a real earthy
Mm-hmm.
peat with just a little bit of water.
Alexander says, "Wow, peat and super high proof sounds right up my alley." Stacie, what was the best way to reach out to explore getting one? Oh, getting one of the Killowens. Yeah.
Yeah, you can reach out to me at 4leaf whiskey on Instagram, or the email is 4leafwhiskey4@gmail. And I actually know a place. I think I know a couple places that do still have either the regular Bulcán or the Pinot Noir Bulcán still in stock.
All right, I'm going to put 5 drops of water just because it is pretty high proof.
Yeah. And these are the Irish bottles, so these are actually 50 cl, 50 milliliter, 500 milliliter.
Okay.
Sorry.
How about like price wise? Price wise, how much are those?
Oh gosh, I think I paid $100-ish,
Okay.
which it literally is. They did not produce a lot of these. I can't remember how many. They did not produce a lot of those.
You said it sold out so quickly, right?
Yeah, when they first released it, it sold out, and a lot of their releases do sell out really, really quickly.
To me, adding water a bit. To me, the first thing that smells different. I haven't tasted it yet, but to me, it has a little bit more lime element to it. There's like a bit more of like a citrus note that I wasn't getting at first.
I could definitely see that.
I'm gonna see if I can get more peat now. Definitely earthier. 100% agree. Brings out the earthiness for sure. It's not like for people that are scared by peat, it's a different kind of peat, I think. It's not like your typical, Islay Scotch peat. Because that's what I was looking for, I think, at first. It is smoky, and it has a little bit of those like savory kind of qualities to it. But to me, it's different. How would you agree? That's slightly different than what I would expect.
Yeah, it's a more sweet, earthy peat. And the thing is, you're not going to overwhelm. Poitín has a very unique taste to it. You get anise notes. You get the creamy mouthfeel. You get this one. I get like almost like condensed milk. It's sweet. So it's kind of nice that earthy, smoky kind of balances the sweetness.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's way more drinkable than like American White Dog from my experience. I think because I have a Buffalo Trace White Dog up there I think it's 60-something%. So it's similar proof, I think. And it's their traditional mash bill. I think it's mash bill number 1, if I believe correctly. But to me, that one is so sweet. I think with a corn-based spirit like that, it's the sweetness kind of overtakes it, and you're just like left with that taste in your mouth. This though drinks like a complex whiskey. It doesn't have that oak like you said, but it has such complexity, and like it drinks. If you didn't tell me this was unaged or 10 weeks aged, I would think that this might be an aged spirit. And that's just because I have limited experience with unaged outside of American whiskey.
And that's some of the cool stuff that Killowen and a lot of places in a lot of the distilleries in Ireland are doing is they're researching these historic mash bills and kind of bringing back, some of the recipes that have been lost over the years. And with the changes to the technical files for single pot still, you're going to see a lot more variety. You're going to see, some oats and rye, and it's going to really kind of make it nice because there's going to be a lot more things that they can do and a lot more experimentation. The Irish whiskey industry has a lot of more room for experimentation than other areas too.
Yeah, and you said a note at the very beginning. You said like kind of like a burnt marshmallow. 100% get that on the finish. I think it's like the char, like the black char outside of the marshmallow for me.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that's super interesting. Now, I was gonna say, should I go back and compare it to the other Killowen, or is it kind of not really comparable?
Whole different
beast. Yeah.
Whole different monster.
Wow. Well, I loved everything. There was nothing that I did not like from this flight. So thank you, Stacie.
You're welcome. What was your favorite?
I'm looking. Hold on. I'm going to revisit 2 of these, and I'm going to decide which one's my favorite. Let me just.
And now you see why I wanted you to do that one also last, not just a proof.
Oh yeah.
It's so out there and different. I was afraid of blowing your palate for the rest of them.
What was your favorite? Let me know your favorite as I try to figure out mine.
The Liberator Tawny Port and the Killowen Pinot Noir, out of all of them are 2 of my very, very favorites.
Yeah, I'm hold on. I'm revisiting a couple of them because I want to say. What about the chat? Do you guys have any questions for Stacie, whether it's about these or about any Irish whiskey questions, recommendations? Please, definitely check out her channel and ask her there. But yeah, she has, a few minutes here just to.
I got time. This is all I got time tonight.
Well, I will also be doing my after party hangout for my patrons tonight. Stacie, you are welcome to join that if you want to be with us a bit tonight. I will give you the info to join that on our Discord after this. But I'm revisiting the Killowen, the original one, and I just poured a little bit more of the Bushmills too, because I remember liking that one a lot too.
That one is lovely.
I do remember that one. It's just crazy how different these are. I never really thought about Irish whiskey being, like you said, so different and flexible. One of the most.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said something recently. You said one of the most. I don't know what you said. Experimental, or they could do a lot with it.
Yeah, I mean the technical file is they have to be aged 3 years in a wood cask. Doesn't have to be a bourbon cask. They can put it in everything. I've got a bottle of Dingle single malt batch 6 that has been aged entirely in the port wine casks. So I mean that leaves a whole lot of room, for experimentation when you don't have that limitation.
Right. Ooh, I think I might have a favorite. Let me just try one more. They're all so close though. I think I'm not close flavor, but close in terms of how much I like them.
I tried to send you some of the, honestly, some of these are my absolute favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to send you some things that I genuinely really love and that have really big flavors. That is one of the big things. That's why I love this flight so much.
Oh yeah.
It's so different. And, the days of, the 40% Jameson being the only thing on your shelf are long gone. There's a huge amount that's going to start showing up in the US that is being produced now.
All right. I got my favorite.
Okay.
So I'll say my second favorite first. My second favorite is the Liberator. I think that one, it's I see why you like that one so much.
I love that one.
I think it's got all of that, the port finish on it is just so not dominant, but it just is balanced. It just carries it out.
It's so balanced. It's just lovely, lovely whiskey.
But my favorite, I'm a sucker for age, and it's got to be the 13-year Bushmills.
13-year Bushmills.
Yeah, that's right up my alley. Oh my gosh, I wish it was available.
Nice whiskey.
But these are all so great. So thank you so much, Stacie. This was so much fun. You guys make sure to, one of the mods, if you could drop her link in the chat one more time, make sure to subscribe and go show her some love when she gets some videos up here soon. Sugar Kitty says, great stream, fading and gonna need a cat nap. Meow. Well, no worries, Sugar Kitty. Well, Stacie, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to shout out? Maybe tease any upcoming videos that you're excited about that you're gonna be putting out?
I am going to this weekend. I'm going to start doing reviews of everything. I'll review, things like the Gold Spot. And one of the things I'm going to do is when I review something, I'm also going to recommend something else that you might like that is similar. So hopefully that'll, help everybody expand their Irish palate and expand their Irish collection.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was so exciting to announce this on your stream.
Well, you are welcome back anytime. So we definitely gotta get you on. I'm gonna get you some American whiskey so we can maybe do some more the more rare stuff. So we'll be in touch. So awesome. Well, thank you all for hanging out. Like I said, I'm gonna do the after party hangout for patrons over on our Discord server. If you're interested in joining, you can go to bourbonbytes.com and check out the Discord server. That's for my $10. Discord's for everyone, but the after party hangouts for everyone, $10 and up. Stacie, if you stick around after the stream ends, I will get you the info so you can join us if you'd like. But cool. Until next time, I will see you guys. Check out the podcast with Emily Chambers tomorrow. It's gonna be a fun one. And until then, I'll see y'all next week. Cheers, y'all. Bye, everyone.